Hello, it is the weekend currently. I'm hoping that I have a little extra time to work on Project TF today, so I thought it would be fun if I took you along for my current writing routine. This is a little bit out of the norm because, again, I usually have to schedule all of my stuff because, again, I work full-time, I have other things and other obligations I have to take care of. So normally during the week I have like scheduled times that I will work on writing and I work on social media and all this other stuff. But because it's the weekend and I had some other things that had to get pushed around over the week, so I thought it would be fun to show you what an example of my current writing routine looks like. Again, current being the emphasis because I'm always trying to learn and adapt and get better and work on, being more productive and that kind of thing. But I thought it would be fun for us to, work on Project TF together because today, especially today, I am at a point in my book where it's like leading up to like the big confession scene. It's a romance. I'm still, because I'm new to this whole writing and vlogging and all this other stuff, I'm still kind of learning like where to toe the line on how much detail to talk about with my books and like what I'm working on and how much to kind of keep private. So I'm still figuring that line out. So for Project TF, I haven't really talked a lot about what it is exactly. So I'll chat a little bit about that before we get into the routine. So Project TF is the second romance book that I'm writing, the first one being the Pen Name Project. It's not in the same, it's not like a sequel or anything like that. It's just the second romance that I'm currently working on. It is a contemporary romantic, like action suspensey kind of romance. It's an academic rivals to lovers, sort of. It's like a, how do I say it without spoiling too much? It's basically like a postgraduate academic rivals to lovers. So like they've already graduated and they have to interact again as like adults in a particular field. So, chaos ensues. But that is currently, I guess, as much as I can really say too much about for Project TF. But I'm coming up on, like I said before, I'm coming up on the big like confession scene between the two lead characters. So I thought it would be really fun to show you my writing routine while I'm working on this chapter in particular. So a couple of things before I actually start showing you the actual routine. I like to listen to music while I'm writing. I have a playlist usually that I'm playing. It kind of depends on the project or the mood that I'm in, but I'm always listening to something, which for this, I'm working on Project TF, so I will be listening to my playlist that I created for Project TF. I'm going to be listening with my headphones. These are just a SteelSeries gaming headset. I don't know the model off the top of my head, so if I can find it or whatever, I'll put it in the description, but otherwise they're just the SteelSeries gaming headset. And then these little cat ears I got off of Amazon, and they just kind of hook onto the little headband here. So this is what I'm going to be listening with. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm part of the way through the chapter. My goal is to finish at least the first half of the chapter with the time I have left for actually working on this before I have to go and do other things for the weekend. But I'm at the point where I decided to kind of split the chapter in half in a weird way, I guess. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to do it because, again, this is the confession scene. So it's like a big buildup, and I don't want to spoil too much, but it's basically like, it's very dramatic in the way I have it set up. And I really wanted to do it that way because I'm like, I think it'll be really cute and I think it'll really pop, I guess, in terms of romance and how romantic it is. I mean, it's not anything revolutionary or groundbreaking. It's a rain scene. So it's like a rain confession scene. And so I have to kind of build up this moment between them before they go out and it starts to rain, if that makes sense. So the first half of the chapter is basically this lead up to the confession and going out into the rain for this confession. And then the second half of the chapter is going to be kind of like a break. And then, they're in the rain and they're talking and yelling at each other. And, we go from there. So that's currently where I'm at. I'm going to try to get a few more words. Let's continue. So I am taking a little bit of a break. I'm having some tea, which you've probably already seen. I tend to like to so I've been writing for about an hour, hour and a half. I like to do sprints of words, but I don't like to do just like the 20 minutes because I usually tend to find that I'll start writing, I get into the groove, and then 20 minutes is up and I'm still in the middle of a groove and it gets really hard for me to get back into the groove. So I tend to do a little bit longer of a sprint, so like an hour, hour and a half, when I have time like I do today, which again is kind of like a one-off since I usually have to kind of fit my writing around my schedule. So taking a quick break, I'm going to have my tea. I might have some lunch here in a little bit. I'm not sure yet. Probably at least a snack. Based on what my nutritionist has said, I need to have some snacks throughout the day because I'll get so busy during the day that I forget to eat lunch. So got to work on doing that. So yeah, I'm going to take a break and then back to writing. Another quick break real quick, but I'm finding this is actually really helpful. It sounds weird, but it's really helpful to hold myself accountable almost. So recording and being okay, well, I have to take this and I have to do that and blah, 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 blah. It's been helping me actually get a lot more word count in because I'm okay, now I have to sit and write. So thanks for helping me, I guess. All right, and that is as much writing as I can get done today. I have some other things I have to go do now, but couple hours of good writing, and I think we got a good word count in. So I know this is kind of like a weird one-off because this is like a weekend and it's not like during my regular work day kind of thing, but it's kind of hard to film like certain activities because I am working during the daytime and I don't want to interfere with my other work stuff. Maybe in the future I might talk more about like my full-time job and that kind of thing, but I mean, let me know in the comments if that's even interesting to you. For now, I can only get like little clips here and there during the week, and weekends are typically when I have the most time to get some like hardcore writing done. And that's again dependent on if there's other obligations or other events or activities or anything like that that I'm doing for that particular weekend. So this weekend I had just like a couple hours to, you know, get stuff done, and then later this afternoon I have some other obligations I have to go do. So this is kind of like a current writing routine that I have of writing for a little while, writing for about an hour, hour and a half, taking a little break, keep going, rinse and repeat until I have to stop, basically. My goal is usually about a chapter per day, like a day of writing. Because I think I've mentioned before, if not, I know I've made a video since that I've kind of mentioned this a little bit more. I have scheduled days, if that makes sense, where like around my work stuff during the week, I have like scheduled author activities. So like, for example, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are my writing / editing days. So whatever project I'm working on writing, I work on those writing days. If I have something I'm editing, that's for my editing day. And then the other days are for like admin related stuff because I do own my own LLC for my author stuff. So admin stuff on Fridays usually, and then I think it's Tuesdays that I'll film some social media stuff. Again, when I can, but it's kind of hard to do that when it's dark all the time. So a lot of that is over the weekend as well. So this is kind of my slightly not usual, but kind of usual, if that makes sense, writing routine. This would be kind of more condensed on a normal weekday around my work obligations. So I'm filming it now as opposed to then because it's going to be dark when I have to do this during my weekday because I work from about 8 to 4 p.m. usually, some other activities, and then by the time I'm actually getting to writing or anything like that, it's usually around 7 or 8 at night. And that's usually when it starts, at least now, because it's getting to that time of year where it's lighter longer, so it's not as bad. But during like, you know, when it's dark just all the time, it's just nothing but dark outside. So I thought it would be easier to film this now as opposed to then because, again, it's easier to film when it's light outside. So that is it for today's video. Let me know in the comments if there are any other kind of writing related videos you guys would like me to do outside of just like my normal writing vlogish sort of videos, because I'm still trying to figure out exactly what kind of content I want to be making and putting out for you guys. So it's kind of a learning process for me, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, if there's any tips or recommendations or anything like that that you guys have that you use for your writing routines, and I will see you in the next video. What I've been trying to say, and I probably recorded this segment like 4 or 5 times because these two keep running around. I haven't been able to tell whether that is the best purchase I've ever made or the worst purchase I've ever made because these two are just in and out constantly running around like absolute bandits. And I'll just want to listen to like rude music while Luna, why are you this way? Can you not? Baby girl, you're so rude. Anyway. If you can't tell, I got them like one of those little cat beds for the window in my office and in the loft of our house. But I have curtains in here, and for some reason I can't get them off these curtains. Luna in particular likes to mess with them and play with them, and wrap herself around them, which in a minute I'm going to have to intervene. Or she just runs off. Okay, that's fine too. Oh, okay, goodbye.